It is a beautiful day for the beautiful game. North of the border, Toronto FC2 playing host to FC Tucson. They say that there's no place like home. Well, for the Reds, do they really know that? Because they are the road warriors in League One. They have opened up the season 6 straight on the road, including this match on April 13th. When they went over to Tucson, it was a draw in this one. But for the Reds, they're at home for the very first time. They got to sleep in their own bed last night. They get to hang out with their family and their friends, their staff, their fans, everybody in town to watch the Reds today. And because they were on the road for 6 straight, they're also tied in the league with 2 road wins, and that's what happens when you open up 6 straight. So 2 wins, 3 losses, and a draw for Toronto FC2 to open up the season. For Tucson, they are 3-3-1 on the season. And when they score in games, they score in games. They opened up the season 3-1 at Orlando City. And then their 2 other wins, 2-0 and 4-0. First 2-0 over Lansing at home, and then the last time out against Chattanooga, 4-0. All kinds of goals, and you see what happens from the angle, from distance. They like to light it up. Let's get it to the right foot and bounce it home. We've got Toronto FC2 and Tucson coming up next on ESPN Plus. Welcome back to Toronto, everybody. The Reds and Tucson ready to do battle. And for Toronto, first time at home in League One action here at BMO Training Center. And no place like home. Time for us to take a look at the way that Toronto is going to run out this afternoon for Michael Rabaska. And they're actually going to run out. We're showing it as a 4-3-3. It will really be a 4-5-1, as Silva will be in the pipes. Mohammed, Dunn, Bunk, Anderson, and Campbell in the back line. O'Valley, Okello, Serbol, Dorsey, and Schaffelberg in the middle. And Perusa will be up top, the 18-year-old for Toronto. When we take a look at Tucson, they'll run out the 4. This is actually also a 4-4-2 with Amaju, Tehran, Ventura, Wakasa, Hanworth in the back line. Jamba, Hanlon, Stripling, and right in the middle, Delgado and Jones will be in the back. So there you have the starting 11s for both of these teams. And you see Toronto right there, the Reds from head to toe. And we are just about ready to get underway. 4 o'clock, 4:05 kickoff. Scott Bowman is the man with the Barbasol this afternoon. So Bowman will keep everybody in check. And for Toronto, this is a game that they have been waiting for a long time. About a month ago, this very pitch would have had a bubble over it, as this is the training facility for both the big club and for T2. And they are very excited about being at home for the first time. Difficult to go to Orlando, then Tucson, Lansing, Madison, Tormenta, and then back to Orlando. A lot of miles. A lot of miles for T2 as they take on Tucson. And a little bit of a delay because Toronto was going to wear black socks, and they have changed to the red. So in red, you've got Toronto. In white with the different color sleeves, you have Tucson. We're underway. And Toronto will go from right to left on your screen, and Tucson will go from left to right. Going over the top early is Peruzzo was giving chase. Flag goes up, and you see the Reds want to be aggressive in this one. Jamal will kick this one away, and you'll see this throughout the game. That's actually a foul for the reason the ball goes up. Flag went up as Wakasa was pushed to the dirt. And this is actually a turf pitch. So Phillip, on loan from LAFC, will kick it into the crowd. Ball will spend some time in the air before it's sent forward. A whistle on Muhammad. You see the man right there. Tucson last time out, big 4-0 win over Chattanooga last time out for Toronto FC. They gave Orlando City B their first win of the campaign. Footing might be a little funky. As you see, Schaffelberg was trying to gain his footing, and it moved just a little bit. This is a pitch that's been down for about 5 years and has been exposed to the elements for the last couple of weeks as they removed the bubble so both of the teams can practice in the sunshine here in Toronto. Tucson will work back, all the way back to their keeper, and he'll then send it forward. A little bit of running room before it's cleared out, and Tucson will have to gather themselves together. Down the wing, Jamba pulling up the brakes, getting it into the middle, ridden off the ball by Dante Campbell. And then all the way back to Kevin Silva, the Bethlehem native, out for Patrick Vaughn Anderson, and then giving it back. You see Jordan Jones there just to keep Silva honest before Silva goes into the middle, into traffic. And Toronto having an opportunity to run just a little bit. Good ball movement around the outside. Pulled down and gathered in by Campbell. Rebound opportunity, but it is cleared out by Tucson and right back to Muhammad. Bunk Anderson out for Campbell. O'Valley, Bunk Anderson, and Toronto being very patient right now before they finally find some room to move. Perusa giving it up easily. And Tucson will build from the back. And you see a little aggressive behavior by Serbal. Pulling up the brakes, waiting for reinforcements. Got it from Adolfo O'Valley before he gave it up momentarily. O'Valley will go back for Bunk Anderson. And Julian Dunn sent it out. And they'll build it back up again. The man from Denmark in the circle, moving forward, hits his target. Perusa was trying to find it to the left foot. He had to pass. O'Valley. Muhammad. And Toronto being very patient, passing the ball around. Campbell going back. O'Valley. Good possession, good buildup by Toronto. Serbal still trying to find some space. Toronto's still on it. Okello towards the baseline. And it will belong to Tucson. Ejimato rolls it out. Tucson will look to put it over the top. Toronto's there. Tucson able to settle it down. Tehran, and that will make Wakasa get into the action as he teams up with Hanlon. Wakasa trying to go down the line. Muhammad clears it out. Wakasa switching sides with Ventura. Now on the top, giving it up easily. Toronto, good build up the last time they had possession, but not this time. Serbal had to play a little defense to make sure they got the ball back. Muhammad for Patrick Bun Anderson, and now Dunn. And Toronto has to send it back off the foot of Dorsey. All the way back to Silva. 7th minute of action. We are scoreless. Best buildup has been by Toronto. Cody Wakasa, the 25-year-old, last played in Phoenix with the Rising, sends Matthew Serbal to the turf. And you see that aggressive play by Wakasa. He stays out of Scott Bowman's book. Bunk Anderson, right foot. Makes Schaffelberg chase. Muhammad will come down and pick this up, throw it in, the 19-year-old out of Toronto. Serbal. Errant pass is picked off. Stripling. It will stay with the Reds. O'Valley. All the way to Dunn. Dorsey. And with this early start here in Toronto, one of the things that the coaching staff and the entire club has been very excited about is that the staff can come out and watch this game before they leave for the evening as Phillip rolls it out. And that is sent down the pitch. Thought it was going to be out of play. Whistle will stop play. Toronto will give up the advantage as you see a number of academy players that have come out to watch this match, and Hosworth will throw it Right down the pitch, headed away by Bunk Anderson. Serbal. And more good buildup as Okello sends it out for Dorsey. Dorsey sending it out wide for Okello. Okello returns the favor into the middle, and it has to be cleared out. Not the best clearance, but effective nonetheless, as Tucson looking to string some passes together, and that one is way too heavy as Kevin Silva is there to pick it up. The 24-year-old from Denmark sliding it out to the 19-year-old from Toronto, now Serbal. O'Valley all the way back to his keeper. Bunk Anderson and Silva will keep each other company. The head is on and the head is out of play, and Tucson will have this one in the 10th minute. Thrown in by Tehran, the 27-year-old. Good ball movement by Tucson. Build up is on. Flag is up is Karsten Hanlon, who played previously in Colorado with the Switchbacks. Gets the flag to go up. Dunn starts us up. Bunk Anderson for a Valley, and he'll try to dance around, dance out of trouble, gives it up too easily. Here comes Tucson once again. Jamba leading the charge. Was looking to center, nobody home for FC Tucson. Ball last touched by Jacob Schaffelberg. Explosive player on the wing out of Nova Scotia. Wakasa for Ventura. Tehran down the line. Picked off easily by Dante Campbell. Toronto will work all the way back before they start to move forward. Here's the 18-year-old. 6'1", 168 is done. He gives it up. And that is a foul that Toronto is going to rue, as Serbal will give the advantage from about 30 out to the visitors. And we take another look at how this exactly went down. Dunn giving it up very, very easily for Zach Wright. And the former member of RGV is taken down. Karsten Hanlon will take this one from just about 30. Two-man wall, he can go right at it or he can send it into the mouth of the 18. He'll send it out wide. And Serbal, who drew the foul, caused the foul, is actually the man that picks it up. Schaffelberg shoved a little bit from behind by Hasworth. And the ball belongs to Toronto FC2. Bunk Anderson feeling the pressure from Delgado, able to get it out to Perusa. Serbal leading Schaffelberg. Hasworth in front of him. Schaffelberg trying to get it in. Luke Hasworth sends it out. Ball will stay with Toronto as the 23-year-old out of the University of Washington prevents the Reds from getting inside the 18. And that throw is knocked out once again, and Tariq Muhammad, the 19-year-old from Toronto, will do it again. Throwing it into the box. Perusa sent it out. It will come all the way through. Jamba will pick it up. Slow things down. Tucson, who moments ago had a free kick opportunity, will look to march down the field, but good defense by Okello. Sliding it in and ball bouncing around, and Tucson flirting with disaster just outside of the 18. Serbal will try to keep it in play. He'll run out of real estate, and it will belong to Tucson in the 14th minute. Cosworth. As the wind picks up here in Toronto. Scott Bowman wants him to do it again. As you see the Canadian referee. Again, first time that Toronto FC2 will play at home. Their 7th game of the season. And they get to do it at home for the first time, and that's an unforced error right there. Last time these two teams played, it was a draw on April 13th in Tucson. Toronto trying to find some space. It's been there so far for the Reds, as they have been able to control the ball nicely. March down the field a few times. They have been unable to put the ball on frame. Okello sliding it in. Dante Campbell all the way from that right fullback position. Okello lays off. That shot is blocked. It will go out of play. It will be a corner for Toronto FC2. So the first corner of the afternoon will come on the far side and belong to the Reds. And it looks like Tariq Muhammad will take that long walk to the corner. It may be Dorsey that will take this one, but Muhammad will keep him company. So the question becomes, will Toronto FC2 go short? Or is this more of a decoy situation? Answer to the trivia question is the 19-year-old Muhammad will do the in-swinger. He will be kept company by Griffin Dorsey. Into the box. Bunk Anderson took his rip on it. Not a lot on it. Whistle will stop the opportunity. 16th minute, scoreless. Finally cleared out. Ajamato. Late whistle as Zach Wright is taken down, but the advantage not given to Tucson, and his teammates will look to hold him up. And Tariq Muhammad in the 17th minute officially will go into the book. And you see this takedown from behind, and Muhammad a little reckless on that exchange. Another set-piece opportunity for Tucson. Wright and Hasworth, and it's Wright who will punch it into the box. And Jordan Jones decided not to jump as the ball sailed over his head. Jones, another member of this team that played previously with Rio Grande Valley. He's 23 years old, and Silva will place it down, trying to call a few players back. And now Silva will send everybody down. Left foot. High in the air, does clear the stripe, but barely. Tucson will send it all the way back to Silva. So Silva keeping busy and giving the ball to Julian Dunn. Dunn just one of a many from the Ontario area. Ball goes out of play as Dante Campbell was chasing, but he let the ball go out. So Noble Okello will throw it in, another member of this team from Toronto. Griffin Dorsey going backwards to Ovalle, and he is 22 years old out of Chile. Dunn, Ovalle right back. Dunn pulling on the Jets just enough to send it past the body and out of play. Jordan Jones was defending on that one. Jose Terran will come over and take this. And the 27-year-old surveying his options, high in the air, headed down the pitch. And Tucson with the long-distance pass picked off by Muhammad, and Muhammad right into the awaiting hands of Ejimadu. Ejimadu will punt this one away, right foot, all the way down. Delgado for right, and Delgado just outside the box. And that is chested. Tucson still on the build-up, but had good opportunities in the final third as they carry it into the middle. They'll reset from behind. Ventura back to his keeper. Serble keeping him honest. And here's O'Valley. Right there for Perusa. Schaffelberg left-footed in. It was low. Bad service into the middle by Schaffelberg. Delgado laying off at the elbow, centered into the middle. Over the head of everybody in a white kit. Reckless play from behind as Mohammed goes down. And Colin Stripling, the 24-year-old, whistled for the infraction. Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One in many of the finest leagues around the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. I think Muhammad wanted a card handed out to Stripling on that one. Does not happen, and it will be Silva who will kick this one away, the 21-year-old out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Left foot. Controlled momentarily by Jordan Perusa. And Tucson sends the ball all the way back to Silva. So the ball sent forward by Silva and gets it right back, and that's pretty much been the story of the first 22 minutes of action. Toronto FC has done a good job of going station to station, creating the buildup. Tucson has been more of an over-the-top type situation. Serble has been very active, as has Okello. Muhammad getting involved. He got a yellow card at 17. Here's Griffin Dorsey at Evergreen, Colorado. Back to Muhammad. O'Valley, Muhammad, Okello. Dunn getting involved just for good measure. The captain, O'Valley, Adolfo, right into the awaiting feet of Jordan Jones, but he gets at his own error. Okello sliding it forward into traffic, and Tucson is there to break it up. Whistle will be blown, and ball will belong to Tucson. Cody Wakasa will start us back up as he hands it over to Kyle Ventura. Ventura played a year ago, Penn FC. He'll send everybody forward and send this one forward with his left foot, driving it. 50-50 won by Dorsey. Sent right back, and the ball pinballing around. Neither team really wanted to settle it down before Hanlon finally sends it out wide. Jamba. And Tucson has to retreat. We've seen this movie before. Perusa, the 18-year-old, putting pressure on. Wakasa, right foot, down the pitch. Foot race. Bunk Anderson gets there before Jordan Jones. Bunk Anderson from O'Valley. And the Reds trying to find some space as the defense has been a little aggressive by Tucson. Bunk Anderson for Silva, 24th minute, scoreless. Neither keeper has really been challenged in this one. And for Tucson, they like to put goals on the board. Last time out, 4-0 affair at home against Chattanooga. Bunk Anderson clears it out and out of play.
If the defenders are here, where's the space in the game? If the defenders are here, where's the space? It's there. Hey, good, no, it's good. Just execute.
Throw-in coming up. And the former Washington Husky will throw it down the line and high. Dunn will pick up the loose ball. Okello. And Toronto being very, very patient in the way that they decide to build up. Through 25 minutes of action, Toronto's had the ball more than Tucson. Probably have had the better build-ups and the better possessions. What they haven't done is been able to take very clean rips on Philip Echimadu. So Muhammad will start us back up, and there'll be a disagreement as to where we should start. Muhammad into the box and misplayed. A little wrestling move there. The ball will belong to Toronto. Echimadu tied up with Perusa, and you see how this happens. The errant play by Phillip and Perusa trying to pounce on the loose ball. Okello right through, cleared out off that back line by Tucson. Staying in the 18, now slightly out. Shot on by Matthew Serbel, but not a lot on that right foot. And Echimadu with an easy save. Good defense by Dunn, using that big frame of his, 6'1", 168. Perusa for Serbel. And Serbel wasn't expecting the ball to be on his right. He was breaking left. Hanlon slending it forward. Jamba centering. Ball just kind of crawling along the top. We'll take a look at the last effort by Toronto as the ball was sent into the middle by Muhammad. Cleared out, O'Valley for Serbel. Serbel with great individual effort. Got it to his right foot, but he didn't put a lot on it. Bounces twice on the bar. Looked like it stayed in play, but the whistle was blown, and Silva was able to kick it away. Foul right there, so Tucson will have an opportunity in the 28th minute. You should get a look at Colin Stripling. Tucson will build from the back with Casa for Ventura. And that a little too heavy, and Toronto will take over the top. Ventura will clear it out. Now in the middle, it's Delgado. Guillermo with some strides, taking that shot from way downtown. Send it out of play, and Silva will put his foot on it. Surveying his options before he'll change the angle of this shot. Left foot coming up. Left foots it high in the air into traffic. Headed away by Wakasa. And now O'Valley Out to Dorsey. Bun Patrick. Laying off easily, and Tucson with not the best handles in the world as the ball goes off of Zach Wright, but it will stay with Tucson, and that will mean that Luke Houseworth will throw it in. Trying to find some clearance down the line for Jordan Jones. Battle into the corner, well timed by Bunk Anderson. And a corner earned by Tucson. They're first. Karsten Hanlon will take this one, so the former switchback will have one that will swing away from Silva. And we are 30 minutes in. So a third of the way through, we are scoreless as Karsten Hanlon will look to serve this ball into the 18. High in the air, headed out. Ball back into the 18, and that one put well out of play. Jordan Jones needed his 3-wood, and he brought his 9-iron. And Silva will kick it away. Early in this match, it was all Toronto with the possession, with the build-ups. Things have settled down a little bit as Tucson has had the better build-ups as of late. Silva sending everybody forward with the remaining 15 minutes of this half awaiting us. Ball pinballing around. Teams trading it on both sides, and that exchange will stop play. Tehran took the worst of that, and he is slow to get up. Scott Bowman not looking like he's going to his pocket as Dorsey showing some sportsmanship. And Bowman, hand in the pocket, we'll see if, yep. Nonetheless, Dorsey unable to get out of the booking just at the end of the 31st minute, and you take a look at how it happened. Bowman just looking back to catch Griffin Dorsey, so the 20-year-old is in the book. Akello out for Dorsey. Dorsey was trying to return the favor. It goes out of play. It will be a throw-in for Tucson. And Jose Tehran will survey his options. 2 cards handed out already on this affair, both of them to Toronto. That will change things up as the game goes on for Michael Robaska. But right now, both 11s trying to feel each other out and break through on this game. Zach Wright out wide. Now Tucson into the third from distance, but well off the mark. Neither team really taking chances inside the box as Karsten Hanlon took that right foot from basically the needle. Silva puts it down on one side and then brings it back to this corner. So the left-footed Silva will send it forward. Into traffic, then sent back in his direction. Ball out of play. And it will belong to the Reds. Muhammad with one of those 2 yellow cards at the 17th minute. And the 19-year-old will throw it in right into the awaiting head of Zach Wright. Jones. And he had to fight to try to get it back. And it will go to Toronto. After they get that loose ball off the pitch, Muhammad is throwing it in. Perusa leading Serble, able to keep it in play. Houseworth playing some defense. Serble looking for reinforcements. Muhammad serves it in, headed out. The build-up's been good for Toronto. The service into the middle has been questionable. Dunn. Bunk Anderson back to Dunn. So Toronto feeling a little bit of pressure from Tucson, has to retreat all the way back to their keeper. 35th minute, we're scoreless. First game at home for Toronto FC2. Opened up 6 in a row. Now in their 7th game. Happy with the crowd is the entire Toronto FC organization on hand to catch the game. O'Valley. You saw that exchange play on. Serble leading Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg into the middle. Cleared out, but right back to Serble. And then all the way back, Bunk Anderson. Campbell for Dunn. Bunk Anderson. As Toronto is just trying to reset everything. Trying to find passing lanes to move forward. Serble with a lot of real estate to work with. A little give and go. And those passes are just slightly off. Toronto is able to get it back, but the ball movement has been good, but not as crisp as they would like. The captain for Muhammad. Bunk Anderson saw something in the middle. Opportunity is off the board. Ejimadu will slow things down. Punts it away. And now Toronto right back on it, giving it up as easily as that. Zach Wright, good individual effort to get it out for Hosworth. He gets it back. And they will punt it forward. One man in the awaiting area, Jordan Jones, and it goes over his head, so Dunn will carry it out. Perusa has some running room as he turns Ventura around. Perusa sending Schaffelberg into the box. Schaffelberg centers, back of the net, the give and go. Perusa, 37th minute, and Toronto FC 2 on the board in their home opener. Great build-up by the Reds. And Perusa, the 18-year-old, heads it home. Perusa with a great individual effort. Real estate to work with. Sends Schaffelberg forward, then goes into the area. Schaffelberg with that left foot, and Perusa heads it home. Schaffelberg with the assist. And Jordan Perusa. And you see some of the young Reds looking to play in place of Perusa a few years from now. 1-0 as the lone striker led the charge. And Jacob Schaffelberg, brilliant with the left foot that found the head of Perusa. So the visitors will have to find a way to tie this one up. The question is, can they do it before the break? Dunn battling with Jones. Jones to the turf. And Silva will pick it up. Tucson will have to get a little bit more aggressive in this game. They've been rather passive, taking what Toronto is giving them. And Toronto has been very aggressive on their end, possessing the ball, moving the ball well. Station-to-station passes on occasion have been a little off the mark, but they have been able to respond by getting back on the ball, just taking them out of rhythm just a little bit. Serble for Peruzza. Peruzza, and he puts that one high and out of play. Taking that shot from distance. Both of these teams have taken a number of shots from distance as that ball goes out of play, and Tariq Muhammad, the 19-year-old, will throw it in. 40th minute, 1-0. The goal coming just 3 minutes ago as Jordan Peruzza headed it home. The assist being awarded to Jacob Schaffelberg. But the charge, really a great individual effort by Jordan Peruzza, as he covered a lot of real estate to get it into the middle, leading Schaffelberg, who read it brilliantly. And that left foot centering passes Peruzza now being whistled on the shove. Hosworth thought he was going to go backwards, but then will send it forward. Right foot into traffic, over the head of Jordan Jones, and all the way back to Kevin Silva. Fans, follow Toronto FC2 and the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN+, the home of USL, MLS, UFC, and the US Open Cup, and so much more. Join over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch League One action every week live. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Delgado disappointed with his effort, and Silva will send everyone forward and kick it away. As we talked about, top of the broadcast just a few weeks ago, there was a bubble over this pitch. And now Silva in the sunshine will send it out wide. Kept in play. Dorsey tripped up momentarily by Tehran, and ball will stay with Toronto. O'Valley, the Chilean, for Bunk Anderson out of Denmark. Dunn out of Toronto. Very multinational effect on this Reds 2 team. Dorsey for Okello gives it back. And now Bunk Anderson will read it for O'Valley. Not a lot on that pass, but Serbo's able to get it and give it back to his captain, trying to dance out of trouble. Bunk Anderson, Dunn, O'Valley, feeling some pressure, but not much that Stripling can do. And you see, this is what Toronto has been doing throughout the game. Possession. Muhammad has to chase that one down. That's been the one Achilles heel for Toronto today. Passes have not been on the mark, sending some members of Toronto FC2 chasing, but for the most part, they've been able to get on the errant passes. Silva left foot out wide. Now running forward, Dante Campbell leading Dorsey. Dorsey just outside the 18, pulling up the brakes. Back to Campbell. Okello. Campbell. Looked like Campbell was going to break, stayed where he was. O'Valley, and here's the patience of the Reds. And you see the possession 69% of the time. T2. And a rare slip by Dante Campbell, the 19-year-old. 17-year-old out of Ontario. And that will stay with Tucson, and Dorsey has to be careful sitting on the yellow card he received in the 31st minute. Toronto up a goal, does not want to go down a man. Tehran serving outside the box, switching sides for Zach Wright. 2 defenders on him, feeling the pressure towards the corner, lays out for Hosworth, and right into the awaiting hands, Kevin Silva. Silva will set everybody down. We're in the 45th minute. Was going to roll it out, thought the better of it as he was looking at Guillermo Delgado. Punted away, and Toronto will settle down. Dunn. Muhammad. Bunk Anderson. And even that long distance pass to Campbell. On the mark, O'Valley. Serbel. Well defended by Hosworth. Sends him into the middle. Here's Campbell. That's intercepted. Jones. Delgado past the stripe. Delgado with some running room. Reinforcements as he lays out to the right for Wright. Schaffelberg was there. Stole it away twice and gave it up twice. Ventura out wide. We've got 1 minute of added time for your viewing pleasure, as this has been a relatively clean game. 2 cards and a goal so far, but 1 minute of added time. And Wright thought he was going to be able to keep it in play, and we'll stay where we are. And corner coming up. Karsten Hanlon will handle this one. And the 25-year-old will swing it away from Kevin Silva. Sends it in the air. Headed out by Bunk Anderson. And Tucson will chase it all the way back, and that will do it for the first 45 plus 1. 1-0. Jordan Perusa on the header, served up by Jacob Schaffelberg. We're going to jump out, take a break. When we come back, we've got a whole lot to provide for halftime. A lot of halftime information for you as the team at home for the first time on the season goes into the locker room with the 1-goal lead. We'll be back on ESPN Plus. Welcome back north of the border, Toronto FC 2 and FC Tucson. On Wednesday night, two matches were in action, and it was two good ones. We'll start in Mount Verde Academy, just outside of Orlando. Serginho to Tablante, 1-0, fourth minute on that little set piece, that left foot that beats Akira Fitzgerald. And then, from distance, he had the assist. Now he has the goal. Serginho at the 27th minute. It is 2-0 Orlando City. Lockerbie on his horse, beating Chade right between the legs. And it's 2-1 Orlando City B. Can they hang on? They're trying to win 2 in a row. They're up 2-1, but then the equalizer. Back of the net, Josh Hughes in the 80th minute. We're tied at 2. Is there an opportunity for points for the visitors? Or can the home team stretch it out and get the win? There's a penalty right there. Thiago de Souza draws it. Thiago de Souza, back of the net, 3-2. There is your final in Orlando City. And the Lions, now winners of 2 in a row, no longer on the bottom of the table in League One action. The other match that we had on Wednesday night, North Texas hosting Madison. And North Texas getting on the board early, back of the net, 3rd minute, Ronaldo Damas. And the only goal in league action any faster than that belongs to Chattanooga. That one came earlier in the season, 2nd minute. So it's 1-0 North Texas. Can they make it 2-0? A little give and go. And there it is. David Rodriguez from his brother. And that is 2-0. And we're in the 7th minute. Madison trying to get back into this game. And when you need to play smartly, who do you go to? Don Smart from an impossible angle. He finds the side of the net. And 15 minutes into this game, we've got 3 goals. 2 of them belong to the team from Texas. 1 to the visitors from Madison. And then, this looks like an opportunity for some brilliance. Individual effort into the middle. Rodriguez, and it's just wide. Just wide. And look at it. Mouth of the 18, had Silvestri dead to rights. But this game would finish 3-1. From distance, Silvestri is beat right there by Jorge Almaguer. That one coming in the 70th minute. And it is a 3-1 win for the home team. And North Texas continues their dominance in League One action. The Mingos are not done. They play tonight. Bundesliga 2 team coming in for a nice little friendly in the friendly confines in Madison. But next Wednesday, the Mingos will go to St. Louis. They will take on that championship team. Forward Madison, the only team left in League One action in the U.S. Open Cup. And congratulations to Daryl Shore and that entire group as they look to advance in the Cup. Upcoming schedule for both of the teams in action right now. We'll start with Toronto FC2. They will see that North Texas team on the 29th, and they'll go on the road to Chattanooga. They'll have 2 at home between Lansing and North Texas coming back, and then on the road at Lansing. For Tucson, they will be at home for 2 in a row. First with the Lions, then the Kickers. Then they'll return the favor and go to Orlando City, head to Wisconsin to take on Forward Madison, and then another one against North Texas. Time for us to take a look at all the action around the USL family of action, Championship and League One right now.
Phoenix coming out the other way. Junior Fleming's leading the charge. Numbers forward for Phoenix. John trying to go back for Flemings. Flag stays down. Back across. Solo!
We're underway right off the bat. Here's Justin Dillon moving up the middle. He's going to push that ball wide toward Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a first touch cross. Back inside for Dillon and a goal! Less than 10 seconds!
Poku slicing through. Quadro Poku scored! Tahana again!
Lomas kicks it to his right, crosses it underneath Miller, and it's knocked away. Spangenberg deflects it, laying out and making the save.
It's a great save again. It's acquired a backstage pass. Doyle recovers. Oduro 1-0.
Go to work to the byline, crossing in. It's a goal! Again, Jerome Kiesewetter.
It's Brayner! What a hit!
It's electric.
Into the box, a strike, and a goal.
Kiesewetter knocked away by Zell.
What a save from Brian Myers.
The most dangerous player, perhaps in USL League One. Pepe curls! Ricardo Pepe, brilliance!
Looking to get that right foot off for an incredible one-handed save by Kevin Silva.
Developing situation, Jones. Jones on the move, Jones with a shot! Rips it off the right post. Another opportunity, and the strike is true.
JC Banks now, letting it rip from deep. What a save by Hara!
Cablante, back of the net. 42nd minute.
Bowling the second go, falls through, saved by Fitzgerald. Oh, what a stop.
Time for news and notes in League One, and how about that? North Texas finally, well, they don't win a game, they don't lose a game, they draw. And OCB, not one win, but 2 wins in a row for the Lions. Pepe, he is just tearing up League One action. 5 goals, that leads the league. Devin Jamba, 2 goals to help Tucson to their largest victory of the season. Take a look at the team of the week. You see Pepe up there, and Jamba, and D'Souza was there as well, and he had another great game on Wednesday night. And you gotta love what's going on in League One action as we take a look at the power rankings. And Tormenta has leapfrogged North Texas, and Toronto FC 2 in action right now, trying to get out of the cellar as FC Tucson is sitting in 9th. Okay, so you saw the scores that we talked about earlier in halftime. Orlando City B with their 2nd in a row, that 3-2 win over Richmond. North Texas back on the winning fashion with a 3-1 win over Forward Madison. Tomorrow night, Chattanooga hosts Greenville, and Tormenta will have Lansing in town. Next week, busiest week of League One action so far. It starts on Wednesday with Toronto hosting North Texas. And then on the 31st, Tucson and Orlando City B will be out in Arizona. Chattanooga, Greenville, Richmond, and Forward Madison will all host action on ESPN Plus on June 1st. Do not go away. I've got the second half coming up next on ESPN Plus. Welcome back north of the border. Toronto FC 2, after 45 plus 1 minute of action, go into the dressing room up 1-0. Jordan Peruzza picked up the goal at the 37-minute mark. You want to see how it happened? Well, we're going to show it to you. First home game for Toronto on 2019, and they possessed the ball very, very well throughout the game. Good build-ups, good opportunities. And you see that was one of the earlier ones. As the build-up came from the wing, Campbell sending it into the middle, Dorsey taking his shot, Nejimadu. And then here was another one, and that build-up from the left side is where you're going to see the goal in a little bit. Serbal, great individual effort from Muhammad. As you see, Serbal will now take it into the middle and just not get a very good, very strong right foot off. The build-up as Hanlon sending it forward. Not a lot of chances by Tucson in this one. This one a little funky as it bounced off the crossbar twice, fell onto the pitch, but that was the end of the opportunity. And then here is the goal, done ahead to Peruzza. Peruzza with a lot of real estate to work with, carries it into the middle, lays it off, sending Schaffelberg forward, left foot by Schaffelberg, and the header by Jordan Peruzza. That one was in the 37th minute. That's all the scoring we have so far on this affair. But that's the way that you draw it up. Possession, 70% for the Reds. Shots 5-4 in favor of Toronto. 2 cards in favor of Toronto as well. But the only stat that ever really matters is the one up top, and that is 1-0 after 45 plus 1. So here we go. We switch sides. Wind picking up a little bit more here in Toronto. Tucson will start us up, and they will go from right to left on your screen, and that means that the Reds will go from left to right. Hanlon high in the air, up in the air, headed away by Toronto, and then foul right there, and that will stop the play. So just 12 seconds into the half, we have our first stoppage, and that is Matthew Serbal. Slow to get up, the 19-year-old from here in Ontario. So as he stretches that one out, we'll start back up. Toronto FC 2 have lost 3 in a row. They're looking to reverse their fortunes here. Like I told you earlier, they opened up their season on the road, 6 straight games. The first game was April 5th in Orlando. It was a 2-0 win for the Reds. Then they met up with this Tucson team on April 13th. It was a 1-1 draw between these two. On the road at Lansing on April 26th, it was another 2-0 win for Toronto. And then that's when the wheels started to fall off the bus for the Reds as they went to Forward Madison and dropped the 3-1 affair. Then Tormenta giving up another 3 goals and scoring 2 of their own. And then last week giving Orlando City B their first win on the campaign. Orlando City has now won 2 in a row after their win on Wednesday night. So Toronto FC glad to be at home and nursing a 1-0 lead as Dorsey is led well. He's ridden off the ball. Clean play, and that ball is sent down by Jamba, intercepted by Campbell. He'll play catch with Akello. Talking to Coach Michael Rabaska earlier in the week, very excited about finally coming home, not being on the buses and on the planes and being able to sleep in his own bed, the players being able to sleep in his own bed. And the other thing is you really don't think about this. When you travel, you're traveling not with your full complement of players. We'll get back to this in a second. Peruzza stood up by Ajimudu. Perusa just needed to dribble around Phillip, but he dribbled right into him. Otherwise, it would have been a brace. Here's Patrick. Bunk, Anderson to Dorsey. Dorsey. And that one's well off the mark. He's going to want that one back. And back-to-back exchanges by the Reds could have resulted in goals, and both times they come up empty. Perusa into the mouth of the 18, and it's almost like he took one heavy touch too much. And here's Dorsey working it to the left foot, trying to go far post, but he went way left of the far post. So Michael Raboska talking about how when he travels, you can't take every player that you have on the roster, so you pick and choose who's going to travel. He was able to wake up this morning, look at the full complement of players on his roster, and decide which 18 he wanted to go with. And for Raboska, he starts with Silva, Muhammad, Dunn, Bunk, Anderson, Campbell, O'Valley, Okello, Serbel, Dorsey, Schaffelberg, as Serbel is taken down and Perusa the goal scorer. Ball goes out of play. Tucson, on the other hand, you talk about being road warriors. T2 starts up the season on the road 6 straight. It took 14 hours to travel from Arizona to Toronto yesterday. Between the layovers and everything else, getting through customs, 14 hours. And they find themselves through 50 minutes of play down 1-0. Again, that goal coming at the 37th minute. Jordan Perusa headed it home. Great service off the left foot of Jacob Schaffelberg. And here's Okello. Lays it off. We're expecting a substitution shortly on behalf of Toronto. We'll sort that out when the time comes, but right now possession football by Toronto. And this has been their trademark throughout this match. Stringing some great passes together. Schaffelberg, left foot, and that's cleared out. It will stay in play as Serbel will do battle with Wright. Now Schaffelberg, and that was a little too heavy of a touch, and Schaffelberg ran into trouble. O'Valley off the chest, and that one sent over the crossbar. Schaffelberg, great opportunity to carry it in. Left foot, it was golden the last time around. This one got cleared out by Tehran, and now we come back to live action, and we're able to sort out the substitution. And Matthew Serbel will check out, and Petrasso will check in for him, this one in the 51st. So Luca Petrasso coming in. And there is number 39. And Tucson trying to find their way in this one. And that has been their trademark, trying to go over the top. Ball will stay with Tucson. Jamba, who last played Portland 2, will work into the middle of the pitch, and Jose Tehran will come over and start us up after he has a conversation with Karsten Hanlon. Two-man wall of Dorsey and Petrasso will slide out. Dorsey will stay there. Ball services into the 18, headed in, and Okello will be the man who will clear it out. Sending it down the line for Schaffelberg, now on the left. And he'll send it back. Bunk Anderson for Silva. Splits through and makes Dorsey sprint towards the line. Dorsey can't keep it in play, and so Jose Tehran will throw it in. and find Delgado stolen away. And Toronto will move it forward. Schaffelberg flicking it forward. Perusa, and Perusa is taken down and is still down as Philip Achimudu came out of his office, and we've seen that movie before, but this one a lot more violent. And you'll see the way this goes down. Perusa on a full-out sprint, running right into the body of Achimudu. And the goal scorer is still being attended to, and don't forget we just had that substitution a few moments ago in the 52nd minute when Petrasso came in for Serbal, and Serbal very active through the first 52 minutes. And Perusa, as they're attending to him, giving everybody an opportunity to catch their breath and get a little beverage. And Perusa has not really moved yet. Right knee is up, surrounded by the beverages. I think the concern right now is on a head injury for Jordan Perusa as he came down hard. And don't forget, this is turf. Turf's about 5 years old, and up until about 3 weeks ago, there was a bubble over this turf. This is the training ground for both Toronto FC and Toronto FC2 and the academy here in Toronto, as the head injury protocol is now being conducted on Jordan Perusa. Perusa with the lone goal so far on the game in the 37th minute, so Michael Rabaska will await the results of this test. USL has done a very good job of implementing head injury protocol to protect the players that play in this league, and that is something that more leagues around the world really need to pay attention to. This is a game where head injuries are more common than you think, take place in a very fast and sometimes violent nature. And often in the past, players have been cleared to go back in and play before, number one, they were ready to, and number two, sometimes cleared despite the fact that they had suffered a concussion. So decisions still to be made for the Reds as we are now about to enter the 57th minute. Question remaining whether Jordan Perusa will continue or not. Throw in coming up, and Tariq Muhammad will take this one. Muhammad picked up one of the 2 yellow cards for Toronto, that one in the 17th minute. Griffin Dorsey picked one up in the 31st, and medical staff of the Reds still determining the future of this game for Jordan Perusa. Throw goes into the 18, and then it's cleared out. Sent back by Bunk Anderson, gathered up by Tucson. Fast play, and Campbell is able to get it back to his keeper, and Silva just chipping it over the attacker's head, and the ball will go all the way back to Achimudu, and Achimudu put a strong body on Jordan Perusa, and Perusa's still out of play. And we'll keep you updated on his condition and the update on what Toronto FC2 will decide to do should he not be able to continue in this match. Wakasa for Hanlon. Hanlon sliding it across the turf. Tehran, and that's headed towards goal. Big save, and flag goes up. And we remain scoreless. I'm sorry, we remain at 1-0 as Silva and company have been able to keep Tucson off the board. 58th minute, and he'll send everyone forward for this left-footed delivery. For Tucson, they're 3-3-1 on the season. They opened up with a win at OCB. It was 3-1. Then they went to Georgia and lost by that same count of 3-1. Had a draw to open up their home season against this same Toronto FC club. Lost to Tormenta at home 2-0. Got a win over Lansing 2-0. Then a loss last time on the road in Richmond 2-0. So 3 games in a row in which the final was 2-0 on the losing end twice, and then a big win at home 4-0 last time out against Chattanooga. And Toronto will, in fact, go to the bench and replace Jordan Perusa. Fariha will come in for him on the next stop. Tucson attacking, and that well off the mark, so Dorsey will carry it out. And that will go out of play. And here is the goal. Schaffelberg centering, Perusa ironically putting his head on it. But he will come out in the 60th minute. Faria for Perusa in the 60th minute. So one Jordan for another. 30 minutes of action remaining in Toronto, hanging on to a 1-0 lead. Tucson has been a little bit more aggressive in the second half, but haven't really been able to challenge Kevin Silva. Not sure if that was really a foul. Muhammad drew it. It looked like he just ran out of his shoes. Scott Bowman is the man in the blue shirt with the Barbasol. Look more non-contact than anything else, but Toronto FC2 will take it as done. We'll send it out and into the awaiting chest of Houseworth. But Toronto back on the ball. Dorsey inside the box, outside the box. Okello had it, and he just punted it wide left. Okello had the net, just put too much bend on it. Another good ball movement build up by Toronto. And Okello will sleep a little funny tonight, knowing he had an opportunity to make it 2-0. Tehran clearing it out. Jamba was able to dance on it. Hit Campbell in the leg, got his own rebound. He'll shoot from distance, and that will be well off the mark. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow us at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Silva will kick this one away. He's had a relatively quiet afternoon in the pipes, challenged just a couple of times, but for the most part, all the action has gone away from him. Schaffelberg for Dorsey. Dorsey centers, and that's cleared off the back line. Jones trying to shield it with his body. He's able to dance out of trouble. Wright has to send it back Wakasa. Delgado sending it to the side. Jamba headed out by Dunn. Tucson trying to mount the attack, trying to find the equalizer. Numbers ahead for the visitors. Houseworth sending it back. The 25-year-old Wakasa back to his keeper. Wakasa and Tucson just slow with the build-up. Down the line, foot race. Zach Wright gets his pocket picked. But Tucson right back on it. Looked like Delgado was going to be able to take a shot. He hesitated for a moment, and that gets cleared all the way the other way. Tucson really has not been able to take advantage of opportunities. Tehran. Dunn put his head on it. Delgado trying to fight for a loose ball. Jones, but O'Valley is there. Foot race. Look at Schaffelberg on his horse. Almost gets there before Ventura. Whistle will stop play, and that will bring in a substitution, the first on the afternoon for Tucson. And so Zach Wright's night is over, and Jamal Cox will come in for him. And this coming in the 65th minute. Jamal Cox played last for the Tacoma Stars indoors. Quite a number of MASL players now playing in League One. Ejimadu will come over and kick this one away, as Cox now will look for the first touch of the afternoon. Quick throw. Stripling trying to send it in the direction of Cox, and it will belong to Toronto. Less than 25 minutes remaining. Toronto looking to get back on the winning track. They have played now 7 games, and this is the first one that they're playing in front of the friendly crowd. And the crowd has grown throughout the afternoon. Members of the Toronto FC staff, Toronto Academy, as Jamba was leading the charge. That ball will go out of play and belong to Toronto. Coach Michael Raboska very happy the way that the atmosphere has been built here at the training facility for the Toronto FC family. Quick throw, but they'll do it again. And actually a whistle blown, so a set piece opportunity for Tucson. Cox will run away as Karsten Hanlon, who has handled all the set pieces this evening, will send this right foot into the box, into the awaiting hands of Kevin Silva, and the 21-year-old out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, will roll it out to Okello. Schaffelberg couldn't handle it, and Stripling picks it up. Now Jamba. Timed well by Schaffelberg. We'll take another look at the free kick. Good service, but right there in the right place at the right time is Kevin Silva. Silva will set it down and look to kick it away. Using that left foot. High in the air. Into traffic. Dorsey put his head on it. player down for Tucson. And that is Kyle Ventura. Play continues. Ball in the box. Ejimado came up, put a body on it. Body is something that he has sacrificed a number of times, and Ventura is still down. And the 28-year-old who played a year ago in Pennsylvania with Penn FC took the brunt of that 50-50 with Griffin Dorsey. Dorsey, good thing he put his head on it. He's sitting on a yellow card. That one coming in the 31st minute. So substitution will be coming up shortly for Tucson. It will be Devin Vega, who has made the rounds between Tucson and Phoenix. As you see, Ventura is slow to get up. So it'll be interesting to see if the substitution that is planned to bring Vega in will stand up if Ventura cannot continue in this match, and it would be. So originally, Tucson was looking to take Hanlon out and bring Vega in, and the captain, Ventura, and you see that shake of the head as he's trying to shake off the cobwebs. We've already seen one player come off because of head injury, and it does appear like Ventura will stay in the match, but they will give him. They're going to give him the protocol, so we'll hold off on Vega coming into the match, and Tucson will have to play a man down as Akello. We'll slide it backwards. Dunn. Bunk Anderson. Stolen away by Tucson, and now down a man. They'll lead the charge. Campbell got his body in front of it. Akello. O'Valley. Now Campbell. Campbell sliding it out. Dorsey on the wing. He does center. Open net. And Toronto could not take advantage. Ejimado has given them chances at open nets, and they haven't been able to take advantage. Cox wrangles it in at the elbow. Cox was trying to work it to the right foot. Tucson still on it. Hanlon out wide. Houseworth service, out of play, and the patience runs out for Tucson. The build-up's been good by Toronto. Here's Campbell for Dorsey. Dorsey tracking it down, right foot. Open net. But before Petrasso could get there, it's cleared out. Hanlon's day is over. And Vega is in for him in the 72nd minute. So Vega, who has spent time with Phoenix, is now playing for Tucson. Vega has 2 goals on the season. Dancing around as the captain, O'Valley, before Bunk Anderson sends it forward. Tucson has done a good job of jumping on the ball in the middle on those long distance passes by Toronto. They just haven't been able to string it together when they get to the final third. Sending it to the corner. And that's cleared out by Akello. All the way back goes Wakasa to his keeper. Ventura back on the pitch. And the captain will slide it over for Wakasa. And Wakasa will survey his options, right foot it well down the pitch. Bunk Anderson was able to control it, send it back the other way. And Wakasa will send it all the way back. So right now, more like a tennis match. than a football match. Wrangled in is Tehran, and the 27-year-old will control it, hand it over to his captain. And the first touch for Vega. Hausworth into the middle. Cox waited on it, waited on it, waited on it, and then hit the bar. That was almost like watching real time in slow motion. The buildup was there, and Cox just kept waiting on the ball, waiting on the ball, waiting on the ball, and made the bar rattle. Here's Dorsey. Dorsey gets it back. Dorsey with some running room. Sliding it over for Schaffelberg. Shot from distance, just wide right. Great ball movement once again by the Reds. They just can't capitalize. Here's Cox waiting on it, and then just hitting that upright. Probably the best opportunity to score today. The substitute who came in for Wright at the 65th minute. Now 75 minutes in, and Toronto still nursing that 1-0 lead that Jordan Peruzza gave them, and an injury as Jose Tehran is being attended to. The assist went to Schaffelberg. Great individual effort by Jordan Peruzza to start everything up on his own side of the pitch, carried it right up the middle towards the 18, slid it forward to Jacob Schaffelberg, who left-footed it right back to the awaiting head of Jordan Peruzza. And Peruzza had to check out of the game 23 minutes later. Ferreira is in for him. And that came in the 60th. Ajimoto will kick this one away. So we got 15 minutes of action for you on a beautiful sunny Friday evening here in Toronto. This great practice facility of this entire Reds organization. Strong right foot, headed away by Aguero. Now Dorsey. Dorsey into the 18, takes his shot to save. Dorsey will try to get his own rebound. Great defense by the captain, Ventura. And Ventura gives them the corner. And we see this. Dorsey waited on it, went near post, read very, very well by Ajimoto. And there was a substitution as Souza comes into the game for Tehran. As Tehran, you saw a few moments ago, went down with the injury. So Souza now in the game. And Souza is on loan from Hartford Athletic. All the way back to the keeper. So all three substitutes now used by the visitors as Toronto is trying to build it up. Ball trying to be ushered out of play. It finally is. It will stay with Tucson. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth program, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Throw in, far side. Here comes Tucson trying to find a way to tie this game up, but the Reds playing very cool defense. And the Reds have one more substitution at their disposal. Be interesting to see what Tucson decides to do about their set pieces, as Karsten Hanlon had taken all of them previously. And just playing catch on the far side. Petrasso led the charge, and then they lead it all the way back. Bunk Anderson. He'll carry it forward, past the stripe. Laying off to O'Valle, the captain, dancing around in the middle. Trying to decide which way he wants to go. As Toronto now just taking the air out of the ball. Now sending it forward. Campbell doing a good job just to get a foot on it. But Tucson reverses the trend. Jamba ridden off the ball by Dorsey. Dorsey needs to be very, very careful, as he's already in Scott Bowman's book. That came in the 31st minute. Tucson starting very quickly. Souza sending it in, cleared out by Dunn. Gathered in by Wakasa, as all the white kits were forward, headed out by Dunn. And that ball will pinball out of play, and it will belong to Toronto. 10 minutes remaining in this game. Toronto up 1-0. Jordan Peruzza, who's not on the pitch any longer, out after 60 minutes with a head injury. Lone goal scorer to date. That one coming in the 37th minute. Muhammad was able to send it a little bit farther down the pitch, but it will belong to Tucson, and Houseworth will throw it in. Tucson, who put up 4 their last time out, have really struggled to string together the passes that they have needed to tie this game up. And Silva come well out of his office and very coolly left foots it down the pitch, leaving his goal exposed. Philip Achimoto, on loan from LAFC, has come off his line quite a number of times, sacrificing his body for the save, and one of those times was getting tangled up with Jordan Peruzza. O'Valle. Ball down the line, Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg now on the right, trying to keep it in play. And he has earned Toronto a corner. That goal given up by Tucson, the first road goal given up on the season by the team from Arizona. Greenville and North Texas, the other teams not to give up road goals. In fairness, North Texas has only played away from home once so far on 2019. Dorsey, high in the air and out of play. Wasted opportunity for the Reds. North Texas will come here to Toronto their next time out. So, we move forward. Tucson needs to find a way to play differently in the last 8+ minutes than they have in the first 82 if they want to have an opportunity to earn at least a point in this match. Campbell sending it well forward. No one home in a red kit. Ventura sending it forward. Bunk Anderson putting his head on it. And this has basically been the story for FC Tucson. They move forward. The ball spends time in the air. They try to corral it in, and Toronto gets the better of them, as you see Muhammad doing a great job of controlling the ball, making sure he can get it back to Patrick Bunk Anderson, and Anderson sending it out of play for a throw for Luke Hausworth, and the former Husky getting it in play. And that goes back out. So Hausworth will survey his options again. Throwing into the middle, into traffic, controlled by FC Tucson. And that head just off the mark by Devin Jamba. So the former member of Portland 2, unable to direct it towards Kevin Silva. And you see he's walking a little gingerly. And we get to take another look at this one high in the air. Looks like he came down just a little awkward, tried to gather his feet as he got tangled up with Dante Campbell, the 17-year-old from here in Ontario. And Silva will take his time, about all the time that he's allowed without getting a card, to left-foot it down the pitch. A number of 50-50s before it settles down and a whistle is blown. Ventura for Wakasa, and now Vega. Wakasa once again, and those long-distance passes. Jones goes down easily from behind. Jones puts his head on it, now sent into the middle. A lot of red kits around to clear out any kind of danger. Souza slides it forward. Tucson trying to find a way to even this up. Cox. He does earn a corner. Who's up, who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings, only on USLLeague1.com. Ball will belong to Silva as we've got 5 minutes remaining in this match. We'll have some added time for you as last substitution of the afternoon will belong to Toronto. And Noble Okello's evening is complete. Wija, welcome to the game. And so Noble Okello will go into the book in the 86th minute for taking too much time to leave the pitch. Wija will come into the game in the 86th minute, and that will just add a little bit of time once the clock strikes 90. And those are one of those cards that if you're Michael Robosco, you're worried about the accumulation as the season goes on, because that's a card there's no reason for. And Noble, the 18-year-old, will learn a lesson on that one. Ball goes through the 18, staying in the 18 and right into the awaiting hands of Kevin Silva, and Silva doing the goalkeeper drop that you see inside of the last 5 minutes of a game. Regardless of any kind of pressure around a goalkeeper in the last 5 minutes, you'll see them catch the ball and then drop. It wastes a good 20 to 30 seconds, and that's exactly what you want to do. Not enough to get a card, but enough to take the air out of the game, especially when you're nursing a 1-0 lead. Muhammad, and he'll send it back for the man from Denmark. Now forward. Passing has gotten a lot crisper for Toronto on the day. Passes in these situations earlier in the game would have been slightly off the mark, and now right on it. Petrasa. And now Souza. Delgado getting around Campbell. Campbell riding him off the ball. But the whistle will belong to Tucson. And into the book was Dante Campbell. So Campbell in the book in the 88th minute. Set piece opportunity on the wing. And it will be Souza who will take this one. So Souza will take over the set-piece opportunities that Karsten Hanlon left behind when he exited for Vega in the 72nd minute. Left foot coming up from the angle. High in the air, headed out of play, but the flag was up. And now Kevin Silva will take his time once again as we enter the 89th minute. Silva, who's done a good job throughout the afternoon, reading everything and preventing Tucson from finding the net. Campbell will track this one down. Ball pinballing around into the awaiting feet of Vega. Vega sending it forward, too heavy for Cox. And that's a break for Toronto as they'll be able to ice this game a little bit more. Highlight out by Silva. Muhammad pulling up the brakes. Petrasso is the intended target. And now Souza sending it forward, now 90th minute. Switching sides, now Cox. Hausworth. Stripling all the way back to Wakasa, now forward. Delgado trying to find the angle. It will belong in the corner for Tucson. Muhammad slow to get up as he'll run that one off. And as we talked about, Souza will take up the corners. In-swinger coming up for Souza. 90th minute, just before the 90. Slipped a little bit, didn't get the corner that he wanted. Hausworth will gather it up. We're going to have 5 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure. And that flag went up. The captain whistled for the offside. And you see Silva saying time, touching his wrist, indicating that he wants to slow this game down. Toronto has lost their last 3 matches. Looking for their first win at home in as many games. Campbell turning around on it. Sending it forward. Schaffelberg. Too much time remaining to run out the clock. So Schaffelberg will left foot it. Knocked away. Not enough time or too much time left in the game to run it into the corner and slow it down. So why not turn around and try to get another goal? And Scott Bowman will go over and make sure that Muhammad speeds this game up, and Tariq Muhammad needs to be careful. We're in stoppage time, about a minute and a half in, and Muhammad had the first card of the afternoon in the 17th minute. Slowing things down right there could have resulted in a second card. So here's Muhammad. He's slow to get up. He has the ball. And then gets into the wrestling match with Delgado, but Muhammad lucky that he's not in the book for the second time. Ejimato sent it forward. And now Souza's going to have to move it quickly. Tucson, who has not really played with a sense of urgency throughout this afternoon, is going to have to find it if they want to tie it up. Ventura putting his head on it, back to his keeper, who rolls it out quickly. Stripling, and he's stripped of the ball. Here's Schaffelberg. Looked like he was going to take the shot from distance. Lays off. Little give and go. And that could have been dangerous if Wakasa had put any kind of pace on that ball. It would have been an own goal. And And that probably would have sealed the deal. Campbell back to his keeper. And Silva quickly sending it down the pitch for Dorsey. Heavy touch. Has to come over and help himself out. And that will waste more time. Schaffelberg trying to get around Wakasa. He does, and he's denied. Ajimado, big save once again. Petrasso. Schaffelberg denied. Now in the 94th minute, Toronto has had their chances to put this game away. They've been denied, but they are staying in the final third. Muhammad, he had the angle and he puts it out of play. And you see Dorsey telling him, why did you take the shot? We need to keep the ball on this side of the pitch. Stripling stripped of the ball. Schaffelberg looked like he was going to take the shot and was trying to get it back, and Wakasa almost put it in his own net. Here's Schaffelberg, and he just gets stood up. So great defense by Tucson just to keep themselves in the game, as we've got just over a minute remaining, as Cox trying to turn the corner, get it to Jamba. It will stay with Tucson. Souza will throw it in. Ventura sending it towards the box. Vega, well defended. Dunn sends it forward. Schaffelberg for Petrasso. Now Schaffelberg on his horse. Schaffelberg into the 18. Pulling up the brakes towards the goal line. Tangled up. Now it's a matter of who will have the whistle. It will belong to Tucson. Schaffelberg should have just run it into the corner and run out the game, but instead he was breaking on the goal. Tucson, very few ticks left on the clock to try to find the equalizer. Going backwards is not going to help them. Wakasa down the line, high in the air. Delgado, as Muhammad sends it out of play. Now we're in borrowed time. Houseworth back for Wakasa. O'Valley put his head on it. And this push should pretty much do it on the game. And that whiff right there. Why'd you do it? But that is it. 90 plus 6. 1-0. Toronto FC gets the win at home in their first match here at BMO. The lone goal, Jordan Perusa at the 37-minute mark. And congratulations to the Reds, as they certainly were road warriors. 6 in a row. They had lost their last 3 on the road, but they come home and they get the win. And you see the goal right here. The efforts have been there. The efforts have been there throughout the game. It was a whistle-to-whistle game for Toronto. We're going to jump out and take a break. When we come back, highlights and stats. The Reds get the win in their first home match in 2019. We'll be back on ESPN+. Welcome back to Toronto. Muhammad, big game for him. Clamping down on defense. The Reds get the win, 1-0 here at home. They say there's no place like home, and certainly that is the case today. We've got highlights for you. And really from whistle to whistle, it was Toronto FC2's kind of game as they really had Tucson on their heels throughout the affair. Controlling the pace early on, Toronto going station to station. Here's Petrasso. Here is Perusa. This is the way the goal went down. Schaffelberg from Perusa. Perusa putting his head on it. That's in the 37th minute. That's all the scoring of the game. But as the game went on, the Reds' passing was more efficient. It was more stable. And it is exactly why they were able to control the game and get the win. And you just see the effort has been there. The pinpoint passes got better as the day went on. Perusa had an opportunity to get the brace, but Philip Ejimato, who was really outstanding despite giving up that one goal on the day, really stood on his head to make sure that this was nothing more than a 1-0 affair. Dorsey, and you see Hajimoto once again just stone-coaling it, getting that mid on it just enough. Tucson did have chances, like this one right here. And that was the closest one of the day. The substitute, Cox, he came in for Zach Wright in the 65th minute. Hit the upright, closest that Tucson would come. And waning moments of this game looked like Schaffelberg was going to take a shot from distance. Petrasso and then Wakasa almost put it in his own net. And this was a tense moment. It would have closed the door. Ultimately, it didn't matter, as it was 1-0 Reds. And you see those 15 shots, only 7 for the visitors. Possession got a little bit better for the visitors in the second half. It went from 70 to 61. 4 cards handed out to the home team. But the only stat that ever really matters is the one up top. Toronto FC2 get the win. They are back on the winning track and happy to be playing at home. So, thank you very much for being with us throughout the afternoon here on ESPN Plus. For everyone at League One and everyone sitting in our control booth, I am Bruce Silverman. Thanks for being with us. One more time, your final from BMO here in Toronto. 1-0. Congratulations to Jordan Perusa. Hopefully his head is fine. Thanks for being with us on ESPN Plus.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.